So hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Live. I am Denise Armenio, emotion code, body code, certified and genius biofeedback practitioner. And I am so honored and thrilled to have our special guest, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, back here with us again. And today we're going to be working with two of her panels, the energy vampire 1, 2, and 3, and the binding. So that's all very exciting. So I have some people to let in here. And so Kimberly, whenever you want to.
Sure. Are we going to take a volunteer? Do you think so?
Oh yeah. Were you doing?
I'll talk about the panels really quick. So these are older panels. Usually I create panels for a class, or I create panels when I'm doing, because I do a lot of scans every month, probably about 50 to 100 a month. So usually I create a panel when I start seeing a problem or an issue. And of course, you guys hopefully all know, energy attachment, and entities, vampiring each other. Of course, we all do it. So, and I think that's in one of my panels, is that we're doing it. I don't know. Do you have them, Denise? I think it's also in that we're doing it to other people. It's not just about people that are doing it to us, which is a harsh awakening, but it comes up, pretty much all my children do it to me. I do it to all my children. So it's also nice to make yourself aware of what you're doing to others that you may not be consciously doing or wish to do. And again, these are older panels. I think every time I write a panel, I learn and refine them more. I think Naomi especially is really good at that and does that a lot as well, rewrites her panels. So these will probably be rewritten, maybe even with Denise or someone else, and extended into a much more comprehensive panel set. So by no means is this the end all be all of energy vampirism, because it's quite an extensive topic and it can go over into attachments and entities and all that good stuff. And then the binding is interesting, because I was just telling Denise, I was just running a scan today on a gentleman and the binding came up. And a lot of times people don't come to me for specific things. They would rather know what their oversoul is saying. So I go with kind of whatever, comes up, what I call screaming for them. And the binding just popped up today. So it was kind of super interesting. I kind of forgot what was in there. And the binding is interesting too, because if you guys do any kind of processes or something, one really cool idea, we can even do it on this group. And maybe let's do that maybe to close out. I'll just do a little process and we'll use the binding, so I can show you how you can use the binding as a process to clear a group. But live event when we were in Sedona, Karen, I don't think Karen or Naomi were there, but I actually used the binding for a 2-hour by the river clearing session. So it's really cool. You can use that. I scanned the group and then I turned it into, use it as the base for my clearing. So maybe we could end the class doing a clearing with using binding on the group, Denise.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm sorry. I was also just looking at the chat.
You're fine.
We have a question already, so I don't know if you can get
yeah, I mean, go ahead before we kind of get into running someone.
Okay, so Margaret is asking, what do you do when a loved one is vampiring on you? It may be unconscious, but it is hard because it is someone we may love, and I'm sure we are agreeing to it on some level.
Yeah, and I welcome the whole class's input on that question if they have any thoughts, because I usually, to be honest, don't do anything. However, if it's more sinister, if it's more of like a handler vampire enemy or a timeline enemy, then that's a whole different situation. And of course, there's a lot of things. I mean, to me, it begins and ends always with us, and everybody has different opinions, and that's fine. And I used to have different opinions. I've stopped teaching the concept of spiritual protection, but instead what I teach is spiritual power. If your frequency is clear, if you're doing your work, if you don't have a bunch of beings inside of you or standing in your field, you can put forth this kind of impenetrable, I don't even want to say barrier.
Well, it's like your sovereignty. You need to be sovereign.
That's what I'm saying. So
and having boundaries, like I
that's
would
it.
almost wonder, Margaret, like what type of relationship is it? Codependent, narcissistic relationship? I mean, because you're going to be more easily receiving or having a taken on that type of relationship, just because the codependent is not going to have boundaries at all. So, and you're
Right.
going to be giving away your energy. So, I think that there are a lot of different levels that you can look at that with. I mean,
And agreements and soul contracts. And then we can get into the area of irrevocable concedements, which are absolutely irrevocable. So if you have a concedement with someone, you're sunk, like the military, which a lot of you have concedements with and you're not aware of. So there's just a lot to that question. You know, like Denise said, we would need to know the specific relationship and almost run it to see kind of what's going on and then look deeper behind the energetics, you know, of that. And I'm going to use Naomi really quick as an example. So Naomi is she's going to love this. She's what we call, or what I call, an organic portal. So she's so old and so powerful and so expanded in her being that she's a hotel, kind of a hotel, but also literally a portal that beings from other places, they see, you know, that she's this portal, and she shut it down a lot. But, you know, sometimes, you know, we have to stop Naomi from appearing on camera and things because she's just so powerful and so accessible. And that's a form of energy vampirism to me, you know, which is like the class that, you know, you're going to be contributing to, hopefully, Denise, our merging and depossession class. That's the ultimate form of energy vampirism, is when a being jumps you and you didn't invite it. Like, hello, they're not only like, you know, taking your energy, they're taking they could be taking up space in your home, and they could be taking up space in your actual body. Whoa, baby, you know, we don't want that at all. So, you know, there's light energy vampirism from what I call filaments, to where people they're like, oh, she won't notice if I just tap her with this tiny little golden string, you know, to where people have straws and they drink you like a milkshake all day. So there's just all different types. And that's why I said these panels, you guys, I know they're lacking in a lot of, you know, detail. So, and also I thought a fun thing we could do on a class, you know, I know you guys do this in other classes, but we can take a topic, you know, and I'd love to write, you know, we could write an in-depth panel together too on an interesting woo-woo topic, since those seem to be the panels that are missing and offer, you know, to a lot of you guys more.
yeah, no, that would be awesome. I don't know, maybe everybody should put in the chat how they would, you know, how you feel about that idea. But I, for one, think that would be really fun and
Yeah,
creative.
and maybe any topic suggestions too, you know, that we could do that or talk about. And, you know, you can always get a hold of me or, you know, Denise I know she welcomes, I'm sure, topic suggestions for her training, I would assume.
Of course.
Take a volunteer if you want, and let's run one volunteer through on energy vampire. I want to keep an eye on the time to respect you too, and one volunteer through on the binding, and we can kind of teach the panels that way.
Yep, sounds great. Does anybody want to volunteer? Karen, or I'm seeing new names here.
Karen. No, I'm just
Or
kidding.
Sarah,
Or Sarah
as well. Oh, okay. So Sarah, she said yes. Well, you will be on the Zoom, and you just have to turn your
Valerie's here.
mic on.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, Valerie.
I just need to share. Well, you're gonna do your before I can do the do your panels. Let me just turn this off. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my phone never rings, but we probably didn't want to keep the whole time in the background. No one uses landlines anymore, but okay. So do you want to start the presentation? Because if I share my Genius screen, then your stuff is going to come off.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So your screen, your screen is showing right now.
Oh, what do I have to do? Turn off my video?
I thought you had did you know you were sharing your screen?
Oh.
That's what's been
Hold
on.
on, I don't even know. No, because it says it says we're reviewing Rosemary's screen.
I don't know, but you have a co-host. This will stop others. I'm gonna say
No, that's not my screen. If it was my screen, there would be 150 tabs.
I don't know. That was weird. Okay. Well, anyway, you can see my screen now. Okay, so Sarah, I'm gonna put you in here. And do you just want to give me your birth date? You can oh, there you go. You're
Can you hear
unmiked.
me?
Yep, I can hear you.
1280.
I'm sorry, what?
June 12th, 1980. I'm trying to get my video to work, but it's not.
Okay, so here we are. So I am going to continue with new analysis.
I also want, Valerie, Naomi, Karen have had these panels for a long time, so they may have stories or contribution to on how to use these panels that are different from me. And some of you may have had these panels. I've sold like quite a few to Genius users over quite a few, probably like 70. Like quite a few of you
So
guys.
it is, they are pretty
Popular topic.
I know, I love them. So Sarah, let me just get your voice really quick. Just say I'll count you down, 3, 2, 1, begin, and then just let me have your say your full name and the vowels A-E-I-O-U. You ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Sarah King Kranz, A-E-I-O-U. Keep going. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, great. I wanted you to repeat the
Can you do this
vowels
again?
till the end. It's totally fine. I'm just gonna hit next. Is your camera not coming on? I'll
It's
just
not coming on. I'm
bypass.
trying to troubleshoot on my side.
I'll answer.
Okay, so I'm just gonna bypass the picture here.
Ooh.
I'm gonna add in just small energies. Okay, so now we have that in. I am just going to add the libraries, and I've created a master branch. I just added on to, oh, wait a second. Sorry. Okay, and we're going to bypass doing like working with the vessel just for time's sake, since we're going to work with the 2 panels today. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I know.
Let me run analysis. Okay, so before we get started talking about anything, let's quickly look at the aura. So it is at 594. So that's a pretty good number there.
For sure.
And we can do an analysis here. All right.
Okay, so obviously not an aura class, so I'm not going to really explain where I'm getting this information in detail. And I think Naomi and Karen and Valerie would agree because they know how I interpret auras, but this to me has a gray black cast over the whole entire thing. even the bright green, and Denise is on her head, so I assume she's agreeing with me, but even the bright green has a gray shade over it. So that tells me right now there's negative energy influence, there's timeline negative influence, or there's possibly some because that icky army what I call throw up green is so close to the body, there possibly could even be some what I call jumper possession. So this will be interesting. I'm going to double check that as we're going through, maybe as we're running some corrective frequency check for any jumping. But just at first glance, I love the green. It's interesting because to me, in the layer that it's in, shows the essence, one of the more baseline essence of who the soul is through all time and space. However, the expression of the soul through all time and space, which is your outer circle, shows there's a lot of trauma and toxicity and issues that have not been dealt with lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So this is a very interesting aura. Of course, there's a little bit of intuition. Of course, we all kind of, have that. There's a little bit of love, but again, I would want to clear that gray cast. That would be my main. I don't even care about the colors. I don't care. I want to get rid of that gray cast. So let's go into the panels and see if anything in there is contributing to that.
You want to see the
kind
old
of-
new first? You
Oh,
want me
yeah,
to?
let's- over there. Yeah, and that tells me even more. I love it. I love having that. Tells me is that there's external outside the avatar or body programming being beamed in from the outside that is she's lucky it's not going down the Hara line, but definitely being targeted on that left side, which also makes me suspect, because that's a weak side. It also looks like there's a big hole blown in the auric field to me, that all that pink toxicity also coming out of the body a little bit. This blue, there's two colors. The yellow that I showed you, Denise, privately on yours is one of them. And is also, you are not in control of that area of your energy field. So that blue, kind of purpley gray blue tone is also control energy. Generally program control energy, where the yellow I showed you, Denise, is more of an more personal control energy, more of a person's behind it or corporations behind it. This is more general. This is more like programming. Like it could have been there at birth. It could have been there, through all time and space. It doesn't matter, but it's more general, and the yellow is more specific. Okay, I think that's enough. Even though I could talk for like 30 minutes on that, but.
Okay,
Oh.
so I'm just going to go now, unless there's anything else you want to see here, right? To the panels. Okay.
Yeah, let's pop real quick at spiritual.
Oh, right. Sorry. I
just thought it might be a
I
good,
was trigger happy.
good pop. All right, so immediately, obviously, we see there's an issue with psychic attack. The way my app and I interpret psychic attack, and we do it 100% of the time with 100% accuracy, so it's right for me, is it's from a person. Psychic attack, the very nature of psychic attack is from an individual. And generally at a level that high, you guys, it's going to be multiple individuals. And to me, psychic attack can be what a bitch, or it can be, that's an ugly dress she's wearing. It doesn't have to be sinister and a big drama behind it and going on for years. It can literally be a stranger that walks by you on the street and thinks, man, look at her hair. That's a psychic attack. It's anything low frequency directed at you. And it can be very, very deliberate and very specific. The problem with this reality, and why I love that I'm getting the opportunity to present, and people that sit in my classes know, is no one knows how this reality works. But the people that do hold all the cards, And so the people that are doing the psychic attack, some of it's subconscious, some of it's from other realms, some of it's from other parts of them, but some of them are deliberately sitting down and casting spells on you guys. And we see this all the time. Some of these are deliberately binding voodoo dolls, and sticking pins in you guys. And some of them have done it, cursed your family line. A lot of you have European heritage and have very, very deep roots in Europe, and your families have been cursed for generation. All that needs cleared. That also falls under psychic attack. So you know, I love the Genius and I love this tool, but I also hate it because just because psychic attack comes up, I still have a lot of work to do. You know, you can't just drop it in the thing and clear family curse. You can't, it won't clear. It will not clear because you aren't getting that frequency. You have to bring the frequency up at least in the field and to clear, but that's a whole nother conversation. Okay. What's at the bottom, Denise? Good. No. Yeah. So again, what this tells me when this comes up on me or anybody else, I take it as this is something that I can contribute my energy to. Some of you believe in prayer. I do not. I do not pray, but healing, chanting, invocation, any kind of willful, conscious, bringing attention to clearing my field or taking care of these issues, that's going to tell you with that number that that's going to work. So I would suggest for you, yourself, you know, after this session that you take a little time and you put your intention in your end, because that's your clue right now that your client has power to clear that themselves or some of that themselves, which is amazing and beautiful that we can have that information and that guidance. All right, let's go to the panels.
Okay.
Who is that? Is that her?
Yeah. Sorry, Sarah, it's too late to add it to the.
No, it's okay. I just.
Oh, and oh my gosh, and they're right on top.
Who would have thought?
Well, they're on top and in the middle.
Oh yeah, they're in the middle. Yeah, so let's pull
just the one, but all the other ones.
Pull the hotter ones. Let's pull one and let's pull two first. Okay. Yeah.
Do you want me to read any of the you know?
No, that's okay. I'll just I'm just gonna wing it. And I may say something different than on there. So first of all, this is very interesting to me because psychic attack also came up. So when imposters can mean, like I said, you guys, to me, these are not the best because they need to be more detailed and give more information, but they give general guidance. So imposters says that there's imposters in her life. There's people that you think are for you. They're either not for you consciously and they're pretending, and we all have people like that. Let's be honest, in one of our circles in our life like that. Or they're being programmed as a handler, possibly, or maybe a timeline enemy. They could know or not know that they're a timeline enemy. But they are not for you. They are in your life and they are not for your highest good. So that's what imposters means. I love when this comes up. My clients love when this comes up. I'm like, you need to take a vacation. You need to go to the lake. You need to go to the beach. Oh yeah, I didn't even know it was at the bottom. I'm just going to start in the middle. And again, a lot of you guys have past lives as beings that were around water a lot. And anybody that has past life is like cetacean. And there's other, even the Pleiadians are really water oriented. You're going to tend to need more water. And that's also something that is very useful to find out. The more you find out, the more you remember about yourself, the more helpful it is. Because if you know that water heals you as a soul, when you've had a rough day, you know, I'm going to take a bath or a shower. Maybe you're at work. I'm going to run my hands underwater for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to drink more water. You know, I'm going to have pictures of water. So very useful information. Tap line day. That means right now, at this very moment, let me look, hold on. This is with my abilities, by the way, not the Genius. So, and some of you guys can see this too. Okay, so I'm already gonna tell you over 10 tap line, what we call taps. That means over 10 separate lines are going into your field and removing psychic abilities, removing intelligence, it's not just energy. Everybody's always like, oh, energy vampire. No. Energy vampires, that's a general term. They can tap line you and take out a lot if they know what they're doing. And the beings that don't know what they're doing on this planet, it's us. It's not everybody else that's doing this stuff, including souls and avatars that have memory. They also know how to do this. So that's a very important thing. Tap line day. Again, what I would do with a client is we're going to see who's tap lining you. Is it a group? And in this case, it can be groups, you guys, or it can be individuals. In your case, it's a mixture of individuals and groups. And so then how we deal with that, but let's, for our sake now today, Denise, we have lots of classes to teach. Let's just drop that in. Emotion siphoned off. So interesting, because again, a lot of you guys know that, lots of like the Dracos love to feed off anger and strife and jealousy. But you know what? Most beings aren't very picky. They're going to also feed off love. They're going to take your joy. So, just like good emotional stress is stress and bad emotional stress is stress, as far as some of these beings, positive emotions are energy to them and negative emotions are energy to them. I also want to point out, and I really need to write an exclusive panel on this, that succubus and incubus also fall under energy vampire categories. And we see shocking amount succubus incubus activity on you guys at night. And we can go into that another time. Tap line night. Usually when we see tap line day, we're going to see tap line night. Why are they going to give you a break at night? It's easier for them to tap line you at night because you're less aware, even though you shouldn't be. Reverse. Okay. So yeah, I drop all those in. Reverse siphon, present in life. Can you read that? What did I say? I don't really want to go in it. If I explained it,
what you think you are putting out or want to attract is attracting the opposite. I will do an,
right.
Yeah. It has to do with the polarity being messed up.
Yeah. So reverse siphon, your polarity. Yeah. So right now, so first of all, basic polarity of the avatar, north and south magnetism, that needs fixed. So when you have that, that's an invitation for other spins, the spins of the chakras to go into reverse, the spins of a lot of najas to go into reverse, the extonial lines get messed up. So really, in my opinion, if you were my client, even if you didn't pay me, I would be doing an extreme energy field adjustment to make sure everything is in the right polarity. Everything's north that's supposed to be north, everything south that's supposed to be south, at the right level. Turn up, turn down, adjust, open and close, a lot of things in your field. Because that's going to tell me it's going to be very hard for you to right at this second, not impossible because it's at 251. So you do have some ability and it's not happening everywhere in your field. So these numbers do give us information too, added information. It says you're partially working, your energetic field is partially working, but it's not working really great. So how is this going to show up in your life? It's going to show up that you can't instantly manifest because things are going to go instead of things going where they're. So let's say you want to manifest a toaster, you're going to manifest a kitten. That's what reverse siphons do. Maybe you don't want a kitten. Maybe you really wanted some toast. So it's partially working, but it's going to skew and kind of go off track. Also affects your timelines, reverse siphon. So you're planning or organizing and saying, these are my goals for my life this year. And again, you're pulling things in, but the magnetism is reversed. And I don't know if you guys watch Stranger Things and you know about the upside down. A reversal, you are vibrating more with the upside down of this reality than you are with the right side up. And again, you ever watch Stranger Things, you don't want to be resonating with the upside down anywhere, any place, anytime, in any reality. So definitely huge information. I could do a whole session for our client based on that one line. So maybe these panels aren't as basic as I think.
That's amazing. And I see Karen McDonald, she's agreeing with you the whole time, shaking her head, and she's saying,
I love that.
So much harvesting and pole shift, earth wobbling and stagnant.
Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you for that. I love that contribution. Thank you. I love it. I'm going to skip next. Let me see what's at the top of that.
Okay.
Top. Yeah. So that really, I'm not really sure. Sometimes I don't know why I put things like these again, but, and I bet Karen could have a lot, both Karens would have a lot to say about this as well. But to me, that's a vulnerability point. Again, it doesn't necessarily, it could be both. So if you have advanced DNA fragmentation, it leaves you more vulnerable to energy vampirism, but also energy vampires and ETs and different beings, the military, etc. can cause advanced DNA fragmentation. So that can indicate both. And again, that would be something to pull other panels and look at. That would not be my first go-to in this panel, though. That would not be a concern. But again, just added information.
You mentioned that it's also the person that's being drained, they're adopting the DNA of those that are draining you. So you're taking on their DNA.
Well, that's an emergent situation. So if I see them in the field, if it depends how merged they were. A lot of you guys, this is interesting, with your family members, we see a lot of what I call half merge, particularly with children. And it's really hard not to do it with your children, where your fields are overlapped, but not just that, your bodies, your avatars are like energetically overlapped with the fields. And that can be a whole mess, because just because you have a child doesn't necessarily mean you have the same issues, but you can develop, and everybody knows this, you can develop sicknesses and emotional imbalances based on the people that you let close to and how close you let them to you as well. So absolutely, you can, your DNA can be affected, unfortunately. And that's just a whole nother, I'm realizing that each of these.
Another class.
Yeah, like I said, maybe these are, I'm like, these are such basic panels, but as I'm seeing them, I'm like, okay, no, maybe they weren't as basic as I thought. So yeah,
So I'm assuming I'm adding this
yeah,
advanced.
would you drop that? Yeah, drop that, and we'll see if we can get any movement on that.
Do you want the DNA fragmentation too?
Yeah,
Since that's
please. Yeah, even though it's pretty okay.
in the mind control or no?
No, leave all the, we're good. Okay, let's pull another panel.
So you want to do the
Yeah.
binding? No, we're waiting for the binding.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna do another
we'll
lucky
tackle
volunteer.
the 3 vampire ones here.
Yeah,
So,
do that.
so this
Now
is
this isn't too bad. Okay, can you go all the way down?
Yay.
So this is what comes up a lot. I usually leave out if I was doing a scan on a client and using these panels. Generally, as anyone who's had a scan for me, my scans are harsh enough. I'm not going to like go for the juggler, because I probably wouldn't say that. Usually people don't react well to this, but you guys are all mature and advanced. So we're going to call you on your stuff. And this comes up on me too, projects what they're doing on others. So one of the first realizations to me about energy vampirism is, again, owning our own stuff. Where are we consciously and unconsciously doing this to others? You know, so we all, you know, you make me so angry because blah, blah, blah. But then we think about it and we're like, oh yeah, well, I do that too. Maybe not in the same way. So just something to be aware of. That is a form. It's a form of psychic attack, number 1, and it's a form of energy vampirism, number 2. And especially if you're not liking where you're falling on these panels, if you guys work with them, you're going to want to also pay attention to shutting down kind of where you're leaking that yourself. Rescuer, we don't see rescuing as energy vampirism, but it so is, and it leaves you vulnerable to people harvesting your energy, because most rescuers, as Denise mentioned, have horrible boundaries. And a lot of us have savior implants. We have etheric savior implants, which are in our energy field. And there's multiple ones from multiple ET races and corporations. And then we have, some of us have actual physical in the avatar implants that we've been implanted with that drives us. And some of it's positive. Some of us have been powerful beings throughout all time and space. And we have extraordinary healing abilities. It's hard when you're a healer, whether you're an actual doctor or a nurse in this reality, or a sound healer. It's hard not to be a rescuer when you have been a healer for trillions and trillions and trillions of years within the game and outside the game. Some of you came out of the all and you've been nothing but a healer. Try not to be a rescuer. But again, that's where the consciousness, which is the beauty of the game and of free will, we can choose to have boundaries. We can choose how much we rescue. We can choose how we rescue. We can choose if we rescue, and we can choose when we rescue. And again, and I don't know anything about Sarah, right? Is that Sarah? I don't know anything about you, Sarah. I'd love your feedback. But also it says others are draining you. Now that's a step back from straws and filaments and all that. Plain old people are just exhausting you. They may be irritating you. They may be using you. You may be letting them. So let's stop here for a second, Denise, and get a little feedback from Sarah, because, I could talk for like 7 hours on this. I love
I'm a mental health counselor.
I love it.
So I'm doing that for hours upon day, day in, day out. Let's see, I'm trying to
What
look.
type of counselor? I didn't hear all of that.
Mental health. Mental
Okay.
health counselor.
Oh, she's a rescuer. I told you.
Actually for
Yeah.
university. So we just got, we got the genius for our university. So I'm launching that. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can learn. But it's interesting because my life very much coincides with kind of this realm. So when I logged on today, I was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't know what I was in store for, but I'm excited. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's a good illustration of how it works too. I'm going to just make a comment. At least you get paid to rescue. A lot of us, a lot of us burn our time and waste our energy, and we're not getting paid. We're just like giving it up for free. Flips words to advantage. Again, not everything in here, you don't, just because something in my panels, not everything is negative. I actually don't believe in polarity. So if you can flip words to your advantage, have at it. But if you're running somebody else, your husband, a potential boyfriend, your mother, your daughter, your son, your neighbor, your boss, that is a key maybe that will lead you to run narcissism panels or conflict panels or other panels, because it's one thing if you're doing it because it's your life and you have a right to do that, but maybe you don't want it done to you. Maybe you don't want it done in an argument. Maybe you don't want it done by your boss all the time. So these aren't, again, it's just information. How you sort it and who you're using it on will change the meaning.
On a personal note, can I bot back to the other
Sure.
part that you were at?
Sure,
So something
yes.
that you mentioned that happened in my personal life that was interesting is I had some sort of what a friend thought was an attachment, and they came and did something, I guess, in nature to what an exorcism would be.
Okay.
But during that time, and that's the best way I can describe it, during that time, when you said something about what showed up about like if someone's taking psychic gifts,
The trip line.
as a method of protection, they kind of took all my gifts and like kind of put them in a bag, like for them to kind of, I don't know, like I don't even really know how to explain it other than it was just kind of like taking them and like putting them in safekeeping for a little while for other healing to take place, if that makes sense. But so when you said that, I have a lot of trauma around kind of psychic, energetic fields, if you will.
Okay.
So in parts which I thought that I had worked through, so I thought it was interesting that showed up as in red. Yeah. So I've always been questioning if what they came to do was in good intent or not.
When I talk that situation, in my opinion, and anybody else can jump in, but I think the intent was good. I think it was, again, I don't. So there's different levels of consciousness and skill and ability and understanding of the game, and that shows me that they don't really understand how things work here, because basically it's no different than me taking your psychic abilities and using for themselves. Psychic abilities or any abilities put in a bag for safekeeping removes them from your use if you agree to it, which you did. And I don't see any benefit in that at all. Do you, Denise?
No.
So I don't think the intent though, Sarah, was ill at all. When I look at the energy of the situation, there was no ill intent. Ignorant intent though, that we agree to can have ill consequences. So I don't think it was ill at all. And again, that goes to me under the protection model, which is so prevalent in consciousness that I'm going to challenge you, Sarah, speaking to you alone. What protection, all time, all energies, all space need from anything? You don't need protection from yourself. You don't need protection from others. And you certainly don't need protection or rest. And as a matter of fact, there's people on this call that would if you have any psychic abilities, would probably kill you for your psychic abilities because they wish theirs would turn on, and they certainly would never want them to be taken away from them and put in a bag for protection. But I do not think the intent looking at the energy was to harm. I just think it was an ignorant way to solve a problem. Did it solve it? Possibly. But I think it did more harm than good. And I would highly recommend that either you, or you, if you don't feel comfortable doing it or don't feel like you did it, I would immediately remove and take all my, oh wow, they want me to talk about this, they're coming down my throat.
Yeah.
Take abilities, Denise, they're coming
Back.
Yeah, I mean, I see it like someone saying to you, I'm going to take your sense of sight and smell away to protect you. So let's just put it in a bag because it's better for you if you don't see and smell. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that,
Yeah, no, I agree. So
There's
that's a part of
our
that.
gifts are our senses, and they are our protection. We need to stay sovereign, and as long as you're sovereign, that's not always easy. I mean, I say that like,
oh no,
stay
I mean,
sovereign,
it's
but
hard.
that's
Everything works.
that's
Everything works with that here. So no, it's not easy at all. Again, interesting because this comes up on me, and anyone that knows me really, really, really well knows that this is true about me. Now, again, when it falls in the 200s, you guys, the way I wrote my panels, it's not something that's 100%. You're not 100% a drama queen, but you enjoy a bit of drama, and you're involved in a bit of drama, and you always have been. And I'm saying that psychically. So are you like, this massive big personality that goes out and stirs things? No, but you enjoy your drama. You enjoy your little things that that alerts your interest, whether it's professionally or personally. And, this is what I love about the app. And I gave up ego when this came into my life 8-9 years ago, and even before, because I used the biomeridian, which I'm sure Karen McDonald knows about that. I had 2 biomeridians. So 30 years ago, I fought with my ego. And about 20 years ago, I gave it up. I'm like, because this is 100% accurate, the way I use my panels and the way. So if it says I create unnecessary drama, I create unnecessary drama, and I have to deal with that. And that's kind of harsh. Who likes people that create unnecessary drama? The word unnecessary is very specific. We can talk about how I write panels. So I could have just put creates drama, right? Which is a different meaning than creates unnecessary drama. So Sarah, just as a personal challenge to yourself.
Okay.
If you're comfortable with that, celebrate it, own it. I'm drama queen, I own it. And I'm going to do that deliberately with full abandon. If you don't like it, maybe see the areas of your life that's happening right now, and shut it down. So again, these are not right or wrong or criticisms or judgments. They're just is. So again, be up to you if we drop that to balance, because maybe you like it.
And if creates unnecessary drama was between 400 and 600, then it wouldn't be really an issue for you. Is that
Okay.
right? I mean, you see things
My
between
panels, yeah.
400 and 600 as more balanced, right?
And I'm
Yeah,
very, very
that's-
new to this, to Genius. So I thought the green was like, you were good to go, but that is not correct.
Oh, I don't use colors. I use numbers. I'm sorry. And I don't know what you do, Denise. Yeah, I should have announced that. I guess we should start my classes with that. And actually Ryan's the one that told me that. So at the very beginning when I first got it. So, well, actually Karen and Ryan's ex-wife, Karen, anyway, long story. I've known them a long time, but we talked about that, and the colors have never been corrected. So I teach my people, it's just habit. We don't look at the colors at all.
Okay.
All
So
numbers.
can you tell everybody how you look at the numbers? Or your ranges are still the same, 0?
Oh, I
It's
mean,
just between 400 and 600 is balanced, and everything outside
Yes.
of that is not.
but that's a tight balance, and I'll tell you guys why. So I have a tight balance because in my life, I'm ruthless with myself. You can extend that, but the way our group, Secret to Everything works and we work, these are people with the highest frequency in all time, all space, not even within the game. Some of these people have the highest frequency like anywhere, any realm, any reality, any ship, any planet, any place. So like, we can't be like playing around here. We need to get it together. We need to remember who we are. We need to activate our abilities, full power. We need to be able to speak and create our lives. We need to heal, et cetera, et cetera. So we are ruthless. That's why that is so tight. We want to know what is out of balance. And we don't want to be, we don't want to give ourselves that wiggle room that a bigger range would give. So again, this isn't right or wrong, but my panels, Naomi's panels, Karen Foley's panels, Valerie's panels are written to that intent, where it's going to show us anything, almost, the slightest impurification, because we want to know, and we want our clients that we work with and our, pets and my daughters and my family. We want to know, we want to know, we want to fix it.
Okay, I'm just giving a time check. It's 2:46.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So I was going to ask Sarah stuff. Sarah, I did look at you. You are not in any possession. There's nothing but your soul, what I call the soul, or your expression of consciousness in your body. You are alone. However, there's a lot of beings in your energy space in your home and office, and there's a lot of beings that stand close to you in your energy field. So you just need to be aware of that, because when you allow beings that close to you in your energy field, it's also easy dumped, or to have what we call in and out possession, which we're seeing a lot of these days. We're seeing beings walk in and out all day, which also will drain your energy and do all sorts of other things, obviously. So just be aware that there are beings in your energy field of your auric space, as well as in your home.
Do you want me to go up to and drop in?
Intentionally using others' energies, that's the crux right there. So basically, intentionally using, you can drop that too. Intentionally using others' energies, again, very specifically written. That's our definition. That's our base definition of an energy vampire. Mm-hmm. So again, being at around 300, do you do it all the time? No, you don't actually do it very much. But maybe 50% of the time you're doing that. Again, just might want to be aware of that need for control. Pretty basic human nature. Again, I don't want you guys to be in judgment. That can be good. Maybe you need to have control of your life. I certainly need to have more control of my life and more control of the boundaries of people in my life. So I just don't want you guys to misinterpret these as negative. However, Denise, as she mentioned, the furthest extreme of need for control would be what? A total sociopath, a total narcissist. Mm-hmm. So, just kind of, if you're honest, and then unintentionally using others' energy. And this shows me that you're not, Sarah, if I was running you, and let's say I was looking at you as an employee or as somebody to date, or for somebody else, I would be like, this is not a person that is, going after other people to use and abuse. That, we can easily see that she's not, by where the numbers are falling. So again, do I think, you're this horrendous energy vampire? No. Do I think you're a normal person who sometimes does and sometimes knows she is? Yes. And I still fall in these numbers a lot. Karen Foley, Naomi, or Valerie, you guys run these panels. How do you guys fall? Kind of want some sharing, or anybody who has these panels. Do you guys have any of this stuff come up on you? They must love that.
Mine in a while, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Okay. We'll let them answer in chat. Go up to the top of this, please, and then we'll go to binding.
I'm at the top.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, yeah, so good. Hooks into the physical body. That means you hooking in the physical body. It can also mean, well, you do have hooks into your physical body. I can see them, but again, if that comes up, I'm going to remove it automatically in a session. And I will not even tell a person. And some of you are energy practitioners, so that would be up to you. You can also use these panels. You could offer, if you're a practitioner, you could offer, as you can see, as I can talk like an hour on each thing, you could offer just sessions on, clearing people for hooks and energy, vampires in their life. So definitely a very, very, very flexible panel to use also for your pets, because the whole relationship, which is very controversial between pets and their owners, it's all about energy vampirism both ways. So that's also very useful we could run them sometime just so I could show you what I mean on your pets, or you guys can experiment by running them on your pets. Because some of us don't want to use our pets like that, you know, and we want to make sure there's an even energy exchange going on.
So Naomi is putting in, she said, over giving and others draining me. I'm always exhausted. At the same time, I'm an energy vampire.
I love that, Naomi. I love that she owns it. I love it so much. But of course, again, you know, instinctive. Go ahead, Denise.
I was just going to go back so we could grab the last panel because it's already 10:02. And this one, do you want me to just pull everything about?
Oh, yeah, that's important. I mean, it's important, but she doesn't have a lot. So again, the numbers are so important because at a glance, you know, negative open portals. So I know right now, well, I'm looking at her body, but she does have some in her field too. But I know right now that, you know, that's not a major issue in her house or her office or her body. You know, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to close what I can. I'm going to address it. AI in home, actively targeting energy, not a major issue for her. Can you go to the bottom?
Oh, yep.
Sorry.
I'm at the bottom.
See, now that is okay. So I want to let that go. And I would actually mention that in a scan with someone. That's huge. And again, I love it's so accurate because I was just looking at the bottom line. I even look above it, but I was going to say I looked and I saw that there was a ley line, which is negative, that is very close to where you spend a lot of your time. And we'd have to narrow it down and see if it's office or home or where. I'm thinking it's your home.
It is
And this, go ahead.
I'm in Flagler Beach and we do have a vortex off of our beach line. So I don't know if that.
Okay. You know, it's interesting, and I don't want to go into a whole big thing about portals, but the way I see portals is there's neutral portals, which negative and positive beings of all types and energies come through. Then there's negative frequency portals where the darker and lower frequency beings come through. And then there's positive portals where mostly like a negative being couldn't get through. And so I allow usually neutral and positive portals to stay. And it's just my choice. And I close down negative portals. But the drain concerns me because anytime there's a negative open drain, that's going to affect physical energy. It's going to affect bank accounts and finances. It's going to affect relationships. That really probably, see, that's a whole session, you know, that an energy worker.
Yes to all of those.
Let me see. And then the neighbors draining energy, there's not, again, a lot. That's not a big issue with you. You're lucky. It doesn't look to me like you're targeted. Karen McDonald might have something to say about that, but you just don't look to me like you're a super targeted person, which is good. So a lot of that's probably unintentional. I wouldn't worry too much about that. So do you want to drop those things and run really quick, Denise?
Yeah.
Are we through them?
Yep.
Let's just get to the idea.
We're not going to get to the binding though. Okay, so do you want me to just run the highs and the lows?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Or all of them?
Yeah. I don't care. Because anybody that knows me knows I never drop things in and run them. So I just take care of them different ways.
So I'm just going to run the highs and the lows for 1 minute.
What's for you,
Really?
It's just faster. But I'm curious to see the aura change if it does, you know, with these specific things. And Denise, you know what I think we should do, to be honest, Denise? Because I'm a blather, as we know. I think we should save the other panel for another time.
Okay. Well, we
I
don't
don't want to rush through it.
We don't really have time for the binding one today because it's already 5:02.
Yes, yes, Margaret, they're for sale through Raya in these panels. Can't wait to see the aura. Did we get, oh, what was that? I didn't see what that
It just meant the rectification was above 40%.
Oh, that's good. Oh, wow. That's good. Yeah,
So-
that's nice rectification for that short time.
I'm open.
Let's see. Moment of truth.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We still have
I like
that
the
on
purple.
screen.
Yeah. Because that's probably, well, and again, she has been standing in her field
Mhm.
that are not necessarily positive.
And this
So
is the control one here.
wait, what'd you say, Denise?
The yellow, this is where there's
Yeah,
program.
that's not about this. That's not about this panel. That's about a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't have time to go into. But I do think the purple cleared a little bit. There's still that gray cast, so still a lot of things going on here. But again, I have a lot of woo-woo panels, so we'd have to dig a lot deeper just to really get that, in my opinion. Probably with more of the merging stuff that we'll be sharing, the merging class and that kind of thing. There's a lot going on with you. Yeah, there's a lot going on with your family lines. There's just a lot. Yeah. So, but I do think a little bit of I don't know. Do you think any of it cleared? I think it might have cleared a tiny bit.
I definitely think it cleared some because there was like more of an overcast on it.
That's what I thought. I feel like the colors are
Like,
more the
even
colors.
this army green, it's
Yeah.
like a clearer army green before it had like that shadow over the
I
army.
feel like we cleared most of the shadow or some of the shadow from that aura. Yeah. Me too.
I still
Yeah. So
see a
definitely
little bit of it.
Yeah,
This
for sure.
One,
sure.
wasn't there green where the purple is? Is that?
Is there? Did you take I didn't take a picture.
I did, hold on, I've got to find it now because it's in my, I've got to clear all these.
I will say this. I will say one of the core essences of who you are, and I'm not surprised that you're say this to your soul and your oversoul. Good job on your career, because I really feel the essence of who you are is very intuitive, which is very well used in the counseling field. So it's interesting how we remember more of who we are than we consciously end up.
This was the old one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's really very different.
It is hugely different now that we look at it, isn't it? So definitely energy moved, as always. We know that energy moves. And when we also us talking about it, I may have cheated a little and done some things too. So anyway, yeah. But it's all happy.
I'm gonna go
The energy
back to-
moves.
Sorry.
Kimberly, when we what is the name of the panel? Energy vampire panels?
I believe so, right,
Yes.
Denise? Is
Yeah,
energy.
it's energy vampire, and then it there's like 3 panels in it. And then well, we didn't work with the binding, but the binding is separate.
Yeah. And we can do another fun and rambling training on binding.
So any last questions before we
Or comments or stories from people that have them? I
anyone?
know Valerie uses them a lot.
Lots of fascination. Now I've got a million questions.
Lots of fascination. Everybody's like, I want to see what comes up on me. I want to run these. But just, like I said, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to run them on people like your family, your mom, your dad, your kids,
You never know what you'll find.
that's true, your pets, your neighbors, your exactly, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your husbands. Yeah. Valerie under fire a lot.
Yeah, Valerie, I know. I'm sorry we didn't get to you, but yes, Margaret, when you go on to it, Inside Health Apps, it has like the different curators or people who write the library. So yes, it's under Dr. Kimberly's name.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be getting up some more, but thank you guys for paying great attention. Thank you, Sarah, for being a volunteer. I was pretty ruthless with exposing your personal details. So I'm sorry about that.
You're fine.
So, but it's been such a pleasure. I love these Thursday lives and doing these. So they're always so much fun. And
that's
I don't know if
smart.
Karen McDonald is still here, but she will be joining us, I think, in 2 weeks. And that's to go over the new strain of Candida. So
interesting.
everybody mark your calendar for that one. So.
Wonderful. Thank you
so-
guys. Appreciate.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. Ta-ta.